Okay, so I'm hoping that this recording goes through, but this is a really low resolution attempt at me showing you how to use the Photon browser. It's right here, and I've actually already logged on to my Pearson account. I'll go ahead and click on our class here. You're not going to need to see all of this up here, but you should notice what mode you're in. This is the touch mode. Here is the cursor mode, here is the pan, and then here's the keyboard. This is what you're going to want. So like I stated, I'm not sure if you're using Photon or Puffin, so I can go check out Puffin if you're not using Photon. But in Photon, and let me try and scoot this down here a little bit so I hope you can see. You choose your homework right there. Homework loads. I'll just go ahead and pick a section where I know I can type some things in, like measures of center down there at the bottom. And I already tested number 10, so I'll go ahead and choose number 10 again. Gives you a little heads up notification that it's going to open up a pop-up browser. And what this is doing is it's using some sort of proxy server. And from what I understand, I got this information from other students. It's been perfectly safe for them and no issues that they know of. But so it'll go there. It'll load your web page or the browser for your course Compass or MyMathLab, and then you can operate within that system. So right now I'm using the touch, which is why I'm just using this stylus here to touch them. I can read the question here. I don't know if you can see the whole question, but anyways, it's a question asking about the mean, median, and mode here. I'll just try to scoot over a little bit. And I actually am quite impressed that I can click on the little tag here, which allows me to do some of these other things like open in StatCrunch or copy to the clipboard or do some other things. And I'm going to go ahead and actually move this down and show you. I'm going to go ahead and go to the cursor mode. It takes some getting used to, but it gives me a little bit more accuracy. So I don't know if you can see my cursor there, but this will allow me then to move the cursor over to a place and then tap anywhere on the screen, and where that cursor is located, it will tap in the proxy server. Okay, and then I can tap right there and it would tap there even though that's not where my stylus is. In fact, I don't know if you can even see my stylus. In fact, I'll use this as an opportunity to show you how to use StatCrunch out of MyStatLab. You click Stat. Sorry, I hit it twice. Roll over, and choose columns. By the way, if you want to know how I'm recording this, I'm using my laptop's webcam with the laptop bent down over the keyboard, and then I've slipped the iPad in on top of my keyboard, and I'm trying to look at the reflection from my iPad to see what you're seeing, because I've turned the image upside down so I can see it, part of it. Alright, so I will move the cursor. Again, I'm moving with my finger or stylus the cursor, and then once it's in the spot that I want, I can tap there and it'll select that. Okay, and then this will tell me all of the summary statistics for Terry. If I scroll down here, it's going to tell me what I'm choosing. If I want to choose other things, I can scroll down here and choose the interquartile range or whatever. Then this window is telling me which ones are already selected, so I can see which ones are selected, which are basically all the summary statistics. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit compute. It's down in the bottom right hand corner. Okay, and it will give me the summary statistics right there, the sample size n, the mean, variance, standard deviation, and all those. So the question right now is asking for the mean for Terry. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back, and that is actually going to take me tapping on homework again. And so that means I go here, tap, and this is where you're saying you couldn't type anything. Now I have a Bluetooth keyboard, so it's not the same issue for me, but if you don't and you're using the Photon browser, you can click up here on the keyboard, and I guess you gotta believe me that the keyboard comes up, because I don't know if you're gonna see that. Yep, so you can see that the keyboard came up, and I will just type in 4, and I hope that you can see that 4 went into the field right there. Not sure which side you're seeing. Yeah, that's the side you want to see. Okay, and then I can draw down the keyboard or just hit return. So I'm going to hit return, and then I can go over here and select OK, or I can just hit return again, even if it's not over here. So I'll move this over here, and I'm just going to hit return, and then it'll give me the spot for the next one. Now, the median, I don't really remember what I had in that spot, and I didn't really look very well, so I'm going to go back to StatCrunch, and now I see the median was 3. So go back to homework. Each time I go back, it gives me a warning that I'm not signed into StatCrunch anymore. I don't care. I clearly am, because I can go back and do more stuff on it. Plus, each time you finish a homework problem, it signs you out and signs you back in. If you want StatCrunch to stay open, you've got to open it up from the main page, from the MyStatLab page. Alright, so let's go ahead and type in 3, and then I'm going to hit return, and I'm going to hit return again, and then it says the mean number of letters for David's. Now I got to go David's, and you're probably getting bored of this, but maybe you're not. Maybe this is what you want to see. Oh, and by the way, I'm sitting there trying to type on the screen here as if I'm in touch mode, but I'm not. I'm in cursor. So I need to either go back to that and then I can touch that, or I can stay in cursor and then I just got to keep my eye on where my cursor is. So stat, summary statistics, columns, and I am going to this time do David, and I'm just going to go down and hit compute. So here's his, he had a mean of 2.9, that was smaller, and a median of 3, which was the same. So they're kind of making a point here. Again, keyboard will draw back. You got to open the keyboard back up. Type in 2 and 9/10. Hit return. Hit return. I think our other answer there was 3. Return. Return. And then I can hit return again to go to the second part of the question. Now, if you compare the means right now, you can see that because of the fact that mean is sensitive to outliers. This 10 right here is going to make the mean higher for Terry, and since there isn't such an outlier for David, it's not going to be as high. So they do have different measures of center. So I expect there to be more letters in Terry, or in other words, less letters in David's book reading. But interestingly, the median is the same. So you see how the measures of center work differently. Median is not as sensitive to extreme values. It's called a resistant measure of center, and so it is helpful in that way for other things. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter again, and then the multiple choice part of the question comes up. I'll go ahead and turn off the keyboard. I don't need it, and hopefully you can see my cursor. If I compare the two, I would say yes, there does appear to be a difference. Terry's books are shorter now. Terry's books are longer on average. And when I say average, I'm meaning the mean, the arithmetic mean, which is the other name for the arithmetic mean is average. Final check. It worked. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me see if I can find the thing here to turn this off.